let's start because we're going to talk about branding and how you can use branding for a better audition read. You've seen a lot of buzz on our social media about branding. So let's make it a little clearer today. And with me is Jayme Mantos, who is my assistant and a working voiceover artist. So she's perfect to be on this. Do you want to say anything, Jayme, before we get started?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited that we're doing this. This is an idea that Terry and I came up with because when you see voiceover branding or marketing or anything like that, a lot of the time it's about how to package your materials and everything, or how to post on social media and things like that. But Terry's approach in particular is great because she's talking about using your voice and what your vocal voice print and what your vocal branding is. So we're approaching it a little bit differently than some of you guys may have heard of before. So hopefully you'll learn some fun new things, and I'm excited to dive in and use a past commercial that I've done as an example. So that way you guys can hear a little bit of how my natural voice sounds and then how that lent itself to a read that I ultimately ended up booking for a commercial, so you can see how the alignment works out.
So what happens is you want to be able to identify your branding, identify your strong points in a read. You have to be able to identify what the spot is, the emotional feel of the spot. And then, of course, that's one side of it. But for you to get better reads, you want to know your branding. And what we do is we use adjectives, and then I have you collect visuals of your adjectives, and we'll dive into it now. And we'll also talk about the complexities of the emotional feel of the read. So it's not just one note. And so let's use an example. So Jayme, do you want to read the spot that you read for me that we're going to work on?
Yeah, so I'll do a read first and then we'll show the visuals.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, here we go. First pass. Our new free Inner Circle membership program is all about rewarding you with the things you love, like instant fuel discounts with every fill up to keep you moving, plus delicious deals and personalized perks to fuel your taste buds. Make life a little easier. Start saving on fuel, food, and more now. Download and join Inner Circle today for free.
Good. Excellent. So if we were starting on Jayme's branding, I would identify adjectives that she's very, that her strengths in this read, which would be bright and friendly. But there's something else going on in the read to make this a little complex. She also showed the ability to make something sound appetizing and delicious. So we would identify those, bright, friendly, appetizing. And then Jayme's task would be to collect visuals that would ultimately be voiced with this kind of emotional feel to them. So do you want to show some visuals that you collected?
Yes, I would love to. And another one we had talked about is relatable too, having a relatable read. So here are some visuals that I put together.
I was going to get into the complexity. First, do the bright and friendly.
Yeah, so everybody can see. This is the adjective I chose for friendly. As you can see, it also is a little bit covering the brightness with the bright yellow background. It kind of, you immediately get a vibrant feel when you look at that. And then also this one that says upbeat, and it's just very bright and carefree and somebody on the beach. So those are the two for that I pulled.
So just so you know, guys, everyone watching this, there are two types of visuals that you could find. And one is literal, which I would say Jayme's that she just showed us are literal. And then there's also abstract. Like it wouldn't exactly have people in it, but it would be a scene that looks bright and looks friendly. Or, you know, it's definitely more abstract, but you get the feeling from it. So the whole point is that as Jayme collects these visuals, she would hear her voice voicing an ad such as this. So it really gets into your DNA, and it's much more complex than, for instance, if you're taking a class learning this and someone says, great, you have a bright and friendly read, and you write down bright and friendly, and that's it, that's your list. But this brings you much further into it, because you would do it during the week if you were, for instance, taking a workshop with me on branding. And throughout the weeks, you actually start owning your read. So let's get into some more complexities of this read. So the next level that we found was the appetizing, right?
Yeah, the delicious appetizing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So so Jayme went out and found delicious.
Like up to that, because you immediately get a feel when you look at that she's enjoying the food, and so it gives you those feelings of delicious appetizing.
Yeah. So this isn't an art project, just to remind you guys who are on here. So when Jayme looks at this visual that she found, she would naturally see it as an ad, and she would hear her voice voicing something delicious and appetizing. And it's not a wish list because she's already demonstrated that to me. And then we have identified her strengths. That's as far as we went on that one, right, yeah. Jayme?
As far as that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That, and then just the relatable.
So let me show you some other examples of what some people who have studied this with me. For instance, Ernest, rye. This rye one is very abstract. Dry. That's more, you know, that's more literal. And this informative is very abstract. You just get a feel from it that there's a lot of information to be had there. Here, someone did reflective, thought-provoking, and intelligent. And this is a nice combination. For instance, this one is abstract. Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see it.
Okay, and then these, can you see these?
Yeah, pull it back just a little bit. Yeah.
These are the rest. Yeah, the rest of them. So it's really cool because you're guided to collect the visuals, and then it just keeps layering and layering and layering, and you get you really get so confident in this that eventually you step up to the mic, and not with a long time. For instance, we have a branding workshop coming up next Wednesday. It's the 26th, right,
The 20.
Jayme? I think there's 2
Yep.
spots left. I can tell you that over 5 weeks, everyone who goes through this can step up to the mic with confident reads. And let's look at friendly. Just say you read something and you say, okay, I'm going to read this in a friendly kind of way. I want to open up the discussion with you that friendly, the complexities that make up friendly, you should get to a point where you know the complexities of this. Friendly can be comprised of upbeat, warm, bright, relatable, and even compassionate, and not necessarily all of them at the same time. So guys, you want to get to a point where you know your adjectives, you know your branding, as Jayme said in the beginning, not to make a website, but to really bring your reads to a very complex place.
Can I show them a quick example, Terry? Just reading the lines from the script with friendly, one that's more upbeat friendly, and then one that's more warm friendly.
Oh, perfect.
So that they can hear the differences.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So, okay, so I'm going to show you guys an example of a line that way you can hear the complexities. Both reads are going to be friendly, but one's going to be more peppy upbeat, one will be more warm and comforting. So, for example, our new free Inner Circle membership program is all about rewarding you with the things you love. That's going to be upbeat, right? Like a peppy younger girl. Now, right. It's going to be our new free Inner Circle membership program is all about rewarding you with the things you love. Friendly,
exactly,
but more warm, comforting, a little bit more toned down, but they still achieve the same thing. So the more you can see those complexities and get more specific with your own branding, the more you'll know how you can dial it up and down as needed when you're catering to specific reads.
Exactly. And you just step up to that mic and you have so much confidence. It's way beyond technique. So welcome to our definition and how we're using branding, the word branding. And I know that you've been seeing this buzz for the last week all over our social media because we have 2 spots left in our branding and demo prep workshops that starts next Wednesday, the 26th. And this just is so cool. So I wanted to share it with you so you know what we mean by how we use branding. Anything else you want to add, Jayme?
Yeah, I would love to. I was just going to say, I love that Terry does this in her workshops because for me, I'm such a visual learner as well, as I'm sure a lot of you tuning in are. And so I know someone mentioned in the comments, like, oh, kind of like creating a mood board for your voice. Yeah, very similar. So like when you put these things together and have that to refer to, it's great because oftentimes in commercial reads, whether if it's a spot that's going to picture for a TV spot, right? Sometimes they'll send you in the breakdown visuals with the copy. So that way you can see what's going to be going on. But other times it'll just be chunks of dialogue explaining what will be going on the screen and you don't know. So the more that you know, like the specifics visually for your voice, the more you'll be able to apply that when you don't have those visual cues in an audition. So you're like, oh, okay, here's the mode of the spot, here's kind of what they're going for, and looking at that in the specs, and then you can bring a warm, friendly read, or you can bring a thought-provoking read, or a more informative read to it. And so the more you practice with that ahead of time, the more you'll be able to just jump right in and instantly understand the tonality you need to bring to the spot and the emotional connectivity with your voice that you need to bring to the spot as well.
I love.
And yes,
go ahead.
Asking in the chat, is the workshop online? Yes, it is connected online via Zoom. And so that way you guys can join no matter where you're at. You don't have to be located here in LA to tune into it. And I'm going to put the link in the chat right now so that people can check out the website if you want to see more info about it and register. Also, you can go to the link in Berland Casting's bio and you can access it there as well. So I'll do that while you're chatting, Terry.
Yeah. As a casting director, I listened to hundreds and hundreds of reads for one role, and especially informational. A read will stand out, will pop out, will be noticed if it's more than one dimensional. So this is really an exciting approach that might not have been presented to you before. Do they have all the information?
Yes, they have all the information. And like Terry said, as someone who's a voice actor and someone that works in casting, those are the reads that often help stand out when there's a specific point of view, when there's like the layered emotions and branding to your voice that goes into it. So the more specific you can be with yourself, the easier time you're going to have knowing how to market yourself and approach reads with confidence, like Terry said. So if any of you guys are interested, the workshop's amazing. Starts on the 26th. If you guys have any follow-up questions or anything, feel free to reach out. You can email us at info@berlandcasting.com. And yeah, I hope this was like a fun little experiment for you guys so that you can see some of the differences and how that can apply to your personal branding and voiceover.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.